Hi. If you're watching this video right now, it's because chances are you have been contemplating writing your stories. And I am here to push you over the cliff on that one by reminding you just how powerful storytelling really is and how important it is to both ourselves and the world around us. I believe, you change your story, you change your life. You change your stories, you change the world. It really is. It sounds simplistic, but I honestly do believe that this is how it works because I've seen it time and time again. Life is challenging in its own way for all of us. I mean, nobody, not a single one of us is getting out of this life without experiencing our own special brand of hardships or things that really challenge us. It's not really a matter of if, it's when. In fact, some of us get more than their fair share of hardships. I don't know why. Um, but what I do know, and what the good news is that when it comes to the stories that we tell ourselves, we have infinite control over that we have control over, not what happens to us, but absolutely the stories we tell ourselves about that. And it has the power then to ultimately determine how we see ourselves. If we see ourselves as inspired, unstoppable heroes going into each day with a sense of strength and purpose, or if we're the people we've seen that think of themselves more as victims of a cruel and unjust world that never gives us what we want. Maybe it's my Irish roots, but I realized the power of storytelling really early on. In my mind, I wasn't from a broken home. I was blessed with an extended family. I wasn't shuffled all over the place. I was afforded the opportunity to experience different lifestyles. I didn't suffer a lot of untimely tragic deaths. I was somebody that got to experience the importance of love through loss and how important it is to never take anybody's life for granted. One could accuse me, in that way of looking at life through rose colored glasses. Holly, are you just making up stories to make everything sound good? Yeah, they've accused me of that a lot. But what I have to say to that is, what's wrong with looking at life through rose colored glasses? I mean, seriously, I have a bone to pick with, whoever said that as if it was, an insult. Clearly, they didn't understand how much hard work it takes to spin to the positive and look at things that way. The creativity one needs to employ in order to put a brighter spin on every little thing. It takes, honestly, real grit, commitment, and determination, and a lot of friggin' morning pages, I have to be honest. I mean, I guess, sure, if what they mean, by looking at life that way is that you're avoiding the truth and not, looking at things, then I'll concede to that negative connotation. But for me, looking at life that way has never been about avoiding truth. It's, to the contrary, it's been about fearlessly looking at that truth head on and going, I see you, but I can handle this. I will get reinforcements if I need to. I will do whatever it takes to turn this into yet another useful opportunity by seeing the lesson in it. I will own it without judgment and all its messiness. I will understand every inch of it as yet another experience, that then makes me the lovely complex creature that I am. It's just another notch on the old belt, but I'm going to be victorious no matter what. And that is a choice. You have to decide you're going to be victorious no matter what. That's the power of storytelling. And I've been using that power ever since I was a little kid. I didn't really know what I was doing at first. I was just so full of gratitude about this ability that I had to spin towards a positive and so determined to not forget anything that I started journaling. I was an avid journaler since I was a little kid, just making sure I didn't forget anything. But then as I grew older and the challenges got, more and more intense, I found myself using my journaling as a dumping ground. I wasn't a big fan of, sweeping stuff under the rug. And I didn't want things to back up, so I needed to journal more and more because no friend needs to hear that much processing, let's just be honest. So all my journal had all the ramblings of my mind. And I found that once I got it out, it wasn't long before I was feeling better, and once I was feeling better, I found it wasn't long before I was telling a better story about all that had happened. And then suddenly I could see the lessons. In fact, if I looked long enough, I could find the victory in it. As time went on, I discovered that this brand of storytelling could take me even further, that it could actually help me create the life I wanted for my future self. Like that I could write about stories that hadn't even happened yet and live into them. Yes, this actually really works. Writing the story of my life in real time and seeing the lessons inherent in real time had given me the ability to see my life in a totally different context. I could mold it and play with it. It made it easier to, see who I am and why I'm here. It exposed the patterns too. It becomes super obvious and revealed to me the truth that lessons will absolutely keep circling back around until you finally master them. It just becomes so obvious. It's like unveiling the plot line of your own life while you're still in the midst of living it. Again, that is the power of storytelling. And once you see the plot line, it becomes pretty reasonable to jump in there and guess what might happen next for you or what your spirit might want next for you. This is how it happens that you get to write your own hero story. And when obstacles, or like I like to call them, plot twists come up, you get to decide how you feel about them and what they all mean. Yet again, the power of storytelling. It's for all those reasons that I decided to create a workshop around that. It's like a creative recovery, and it's specifically for writers in the sense that down the road the intention is to tell your stories in a larger arena. If you feel that they're commercial and want to share, but initially it's for the writer themselves. Anyone that contemplates wanting to be a writer, writers write what they know. So you better know what you know. The things that you know better than anybody else. You need to understand it. You need to get in it, understand humanity, have compassion for both yourself and the villains, or the obstacles in life. And then when you understand those things, you can write characters that move people. You can write stories that move people. So yeah, I created some workshops that first help writers know thyself, really. And it's not therapy, but it does have the added bonus of being extremely therapeutic. Like I said, change your own stories, play with your own stories, change your life. And then from there, I start to do the traditional coaching of actually how you wrangle a story down to the ground, which I have found with all writers, it's the same thing. That story lives inside you perfectly. It's already there in you perfectly. The problem is us. This right here, it's in the way. So I work with writers to help them get this out of the way so they can flow freely onto the page and express what it is that they want to express, build those writers' muscles. So yeah, if anyone is interested in learning more about those particular programs, please just go onto my website. I'll put the information below. And you can always get on a free consult with me. I'm always happy to talk to any writers and point them in the right direction. My program, I keep it small and it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to go all that deep and personal into their work, and that is totally fine. Either way, I'm always happy to help people and point them in the right direction. And, if it turns out this is exactly what you need, then fantastic. Please get on a calendar because I would love to talk to you about your writing and about your goals and be a stand for what it is you want to create. In the meantime, I leave you with that gift, really and truly. Tell your stories and change your stories, change your life.